Welcome, students. In this next lesson, we're going to follow up our last discussion about multiples, and we're going to talk about a new idea, really a new tool here that is called a factor. Now, a factor is a number that we can multiply together, or numbers that we can multiply together to get another number. So this time, rather than starting with two multiples to get a product, we're actually going to start with a dividend, what we'd call it. We'll start with a number, a whole number, and we're going to look at two factors we can multiply together to make up that number, or what are the pieces that make up that number. So let's go ahead and take a look at this number 8, which is also shown down here in the bead bars. Now, here I can see that 8 is composed of, well, I know that it's composed of a 4 bead. I can see that right here. So I know that 4 must be part of this number. 4 must be part of this number. And then the question is, well, how many 4s does it take to make this number 8? So I know that 4 is a factor of 8, but 4 times what equals 8? Well, I see that there's 1 4, 2 4s. 2 4s make 8. So in this case, I can say that 4 and 2 are factors of 8. I'm going to move on to this next example here. In this example, I'm going to start with the number 10, and the question I'm asking is, what numbers can I multiply together to get this number 10? Or what numbers are factors of 10? So in this case, I'm going to break it down and look at these bead bars again. And I can see that, well, that's a 5 bead. So 5 must be a factor of 10. And how many 5s are there, or 5 times what equals 10? I can see that it's 1 5, 2 5, 2 5s. 2 5s equal 10. You could say 2 times 5 is 10, but most importantly here, what we're noticing is that 5 and 2 are both factors of 10. Let's look at this third example here. I'm just going to walk through a few examples, and I'm going to give you a chance to try a few on your own in a moment here. But start thinking now, before I even begin solving this myself. What do you notice here? What do you notice is the number that we're starting with? And how might I break this number apart? What do you think some factors of this number are? I see here that I have a 6 bead. Okay, so I know that 6 is a factor of 12. 6 times what is 12? Let's see here. Well, 1, 2. 6 times 2 is 12. I know that 6 and 2 are both factors of 12. Now, what I can do, really what we're doing here is we're taking a number, we're starting with a number, and then we're seeing what numbers do I multiply to get that number. So I see 12 here. Well, I can find 12 down here as well, right? See, I have 12 here. And how did I get 12? What are the factors of 12? Well, I can go up here and see that 6 and 2 can be multiplied together to make 12. So these are just a couple techniques that I can use to solve this work. So you might have a table of multiples like this in the front or back of your math notebook, very likely, and it's also going to be available below this video as a material that you can access. And I recommend, frankly, taking a screenshot and saving it on your iPad so you have this table of multiples handy all the time. Make it available. It's a handy tool that we use all the time in our classroom. Okay, let's take a look at some more examples here. For this next example, we're looking at starting with the number 16. What are some factors of 16? So for this one, I would like you to kind of think this through while I'm solving it. I'm going to actually start here on the table of multiples, and I'm going to find, let's go ahead and start with 16 here. Okay, well, here's 16. All right. So go ahead now and just look vertically to the top and horizontally all the way to the edge. What numbers are multiplied to make 16? All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the work here. I'm going to go up to here. I see 8 is one factor of 16. And 8 times what equals 16? I'm going to go out to the edge here. There it is. 8 times 2 is 16. Now, I'm using this table of multiples. I don't have to. I know the factors of 16 because I've practiced my math facts a lot, and you will know it too as you get better at this. And if it's something that you're still practicing, we have these tools available to solve this problem another way. Working on it like this with the table of multiples is a way to practice your math facts. It's an awesome way to practice your multiplication and division. Let's take this next example, 20. All right, so right away I'm thinking, do I know two numbers I can multiply together to make 20? I know off the top of my head that I can multiply 10 times 2 to get 20. Is there another way to get 20 though? Let's try some strategies. Let's practice some strategies that might help if I wasn't sure how to arrive at this number. Okay, well I'm going to start by looking for 20 in the table of multiples. Here it is. Now, this is a little bit different way to make 20. Go ahead and use the strategy I showed you before to find the two factors for 20. All right, again, I'm going to go to the top. There's one factor, and to the edge, there's another factor. Those are the two factors, or those are two possible factors of 20. Different factors than the ones I found before. 4 and 5 are factors of 20. All right, I'm going to try this last example here. And again, I really want you to try this out. So if you don't already have your math notebook, make sure you have it ready. Get a page, a blank page, and on the top write factor, and this definition here, numbers we can multiply together to arrive at another number, to get another number. If you got to pause the video, go and pause it for a moment. Make sure you have that written down. You want to be able to go back and refer to that definition and draw some sketches. Draw out, if you have to pause it here, draw out these triangles with some numbers in them. And maybe make some arrows, make some notes to yourself. Factor, there's a factor, there's a factor. Your notes are your tools. They don't need to make sense to me, they need to make sense to you. Maybe it helps for you to have a smiley face, just to remind you, oh yeah, this is a good factor right here. Look, he's pointing right at it. Yeah, awesome. Thumbs up, cool. Whatever helps you remember is what's going to be the best note for you. But I hope that my notes here are helpful as well. So 4 and 5 are factors of 20. Okay, you've got your notebook ready now and a pencil. Let's take a look at this last example here. 24. What are factors of 24? So go ahead and pause the video in a moment. If you already know two numbers you can multiply to get 24, write those down here, and those are your two factors. If not, I'm going to scroll down here to look at the table of multiples and look for the number 24, and I want you to try to use a strategy yourself now, without my help, to try to find two factors of 24. When you're done, go ahead and press play again, and we'll see how I solve it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and solve this now. Using that strategy again. I'm looking around for the number 24. That's my place to start. Here, I see it right here. Of course, it arrives in a couple places. But we're going to start with those. In fact, hey, just for fun, why don't we find it in a few different places? Let's find it there, and let's find it over here too. Okay, this will give us a few different ways to try solving this. Let's change the color too, just for fun. All right, so 24. Let's start with that first one I had. I'm going to go up to the top. 6 and 4. 6 and 4 are both factors of 24. Here it is again. 6 and 4. That's one possible answer. But 24 has even more factors. It also has 3 and 8. 3 and 8. So I'm going to go with 3 and 8 as my two factors, just for fun. Any of those would have been correct answers. Okay, in this next slide, I would like you to try solving, so finding the factors of these numbers. Go ahead and write down, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in your math notebook, I would like you to write down 6 of these factor triangles. And let's see here, I'd like you to find the factors of 12. I'd like you to figure out how many are down here. So using this strategy of counting the beads, how many is in one row, and how many rows are there, that'll tell you the factors. And the product up here. Same thing here. How many are you going to start out with? And what are the two factors? And then I want you to find the factors of 20, 24, and 30 on your own, so working independently. Okay, this is how I'm going to walk through these. I see here that this is a 4 bar, so I know that 4 is one factor of 12. And I see that there are 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. I can also solve it this way. I see 12 is here, and I see that 4 times 3 is 12. Those are both ways to solve that problem. Next up, I have a 5 bar. So 5 is 5b rather. 5 is one factor. How many 5s are there? 1, 2, 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 and 3 are both factors of 15. Having some trouble writing that there. There we go. That's better. All right, and lastly, I have a 6 bar here. 1, 2, 3 6s. 6 times 3 is, let's see here, 6, 12, 18. 6, 12, 18. Okay. 6 and 3 are factors of 18, and I can show that down here as well, right? Here's 18. Here's 6. Here is 3. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 and 6 are factors of 18. All right, let's see how you solved these last 3. And I'm going to use the table of multiples more extensively for this part of the problem. So my next number to start with here is the number 20. Okay, I'm going to find 20 down here. I see 20 is composed of, it's made up of 5 and 4. 5 and 4 are two factors of 20. I'm just going to move quickly through these here, assuming you've already finished them, and I'm just showing you how you might solve them. Next is 24. I worked on this earlier, and 24 I'm going to use, let's see here, we'll use this one here. Here I have 4 is one factor of 24, and 6 is another factor of 24. Alrighty. Lastly is this number 30 here. So I'm finding 30 on the table of multiples. I see it here. And I'm looking up here to see that 6, and over here to see that 5 are two factors of 30. 5 and 6. All right, well, how'd you do on that? If you noticed you had any trouble with any part of this problem, go ahead and jot some notes or circle or highlight a part that you had a difficulty with. Acknowledge those mistakes and errors. Add some notes or some reminders for yourself about what you might try differently next time, or a note to me about something you'd like help with, or just say, like, I had trouble with this, then I figured out what I was doing wrong. Those kinds of thoughts and reflections are really helpful moving forward. Lastly, I have 6 more of these factor triangles. Some independent work that I'd like you to do through the rest of the week here is I'd like you to make 6 more factor triangles of your own, using some numbers we haven't used yet. It's real simple. Again, what you're doing here is you're finding a number to start with. Say it's 42, for example. 42. And you're finding the factors of that number. 7 times 6 equals 42. 7 times 6 equals 42. Those are both factors of 42. So for this work, you're going to create 6 factor triangles of your own in your math notebook, and you'll take a picture of your work, the work that you've, I would take a picture of all your notes that you've worked on for this project and submit those to this assignment. That's all. Please let me know if you have any questions about this or ideas. Look forward to seeing your wonderful work.